I've been shooting things through my camera for many years now, whenever I've gone on any little excursion. And even though I felt like I was present in those moments, I sometimes wonder could I have been completely present, especially when some of those moments were experienced through a phone or camera screen.
And I like to think I was fully present in those moments, but truth is I probably wasn't. I was thinking about how I would want to look back and I guess reminisce on the moment. I was thinking of it from a future perspective. And that's often why I would whip out the camera. Like, oh, this would be nice to look back on a few years from now, even a few months from now. And it's a good idea at the time. And this is kind of why I like the YouTube channel. It's making me a bit more introspective. And so I think about these things a bit more. But like, it seemed like a good idea at the time, right? To take these video clips, to take these pictures, whatever form of media they may be. But it meant I wasn't fully engaged with all my senses. I wasn't sitting there like, oh, let me take a moment to actually remember like what I'm seeing here, what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling, and getting all those ideas sort of fixated in my mind so that when I remember it going forward, I can remember it very vividly. But it wasn't the case because I could just take out a camera and that could help me do the job for me. And I guess by virtue of that, I didn't really have to be fully engaged with the moment because I have this device which can now sort of enable that for me. One of the words that comes to mind when I think about this is the concept of reverie. That's what I would have hoped to have felt in those moments. I would have hoped to have felt a sense of reverie, and maybe I did, but I think that reverie was then broken by virtue of me whipping out my camera and just videoing or taking a picture and using that to log this moment versus just being mindful and just being present of everything that was going on around me. And because of that, I think these imprints, these memories in my head of all the things that I have done and all the things that I've been through aren't as vivid as I would like them to be, because I think I sort of established a slight bit of complacency when it comes to that, because now I have the ability to sort of microdose on all the things that I have done throughout my life. I don't have to recall, I don't have to have that recollection, because watching a video or looking at pictures will do it for me, will activate those memories for me. So I no longer have to sort of activate them myself. And as a result of that, I think the moments that I have captured, when I try and remember them, I can't remember them as vividly as the moments I didn't capture. Because I think my mind sort of is aware that I am recording this in whatever shape or form it may be. And because of that, I don't have to force myself to remember. In fact, a lot of these moments that I've captured, like a lot of the clips and the videos, the images, that sort of stuff, I can't remember being in those moments. But the moments in between those, the moments that I didn't capture, I can recall significantly more vividly. And this is just as I browse through my memories and I watch back a lot of these videos and these, I flick through these pictures that I've taken, and I see that I honestly can't remember that being me. Like, I can't remember it being me that saw these things and did these things. Like, I know it was me, and obviously I do have some memory of it, but that sort of perspective is skewed a bit. Yeah, I find that quite strange. I think second to that is what I've begun to do a lot of the time is that when I make these little montages of the trips that I have been on or taken a lot of pictures, I would often share that. I would often share that to others who want to sort of know about the experience, rather than actually telling a well-told, articulate, elaborate story about the thing that happened, right? Like, I haven't, like, the nuances, like how I felt, what I saw, like how I felt about those things. Like, my true opinions aren't as, Well, I guess that it's just not as elaborate as I would have liked it to be now, because I don't feel like it has to be. I feel like the video and the media that I share can sort of substitute that. It can substitute the stories that I would have told otherwise. And naturally, I do give my thoughts and opinions of places I've visited, like things that I've experienced, but they're not as comprehensive as I would like them to be. I can't tell the entire story anymore. I can't tell the entire story of a place that I've been to and the thing that I have done without supplementing with some form of video or picture. And I think through that medium, I've kind of lost the ability to, I guess I've lost the confidence now. Because I've been doing it so long, if I don't take a picture or a video of anything, I'm slightly afraid that I won't remember it. I won't remember this moment like a few years from now. And it's kind of a weird, scary thought to have, that I've become so dependent on capturing moments that I don't feel like I have the confidence to then remember them. But I also feel like that activity, like that ability to sort of tell people your tale or your adventure or whatever it may have been that you have done, helps consolidate that memory in your mind, because now you're actively recalling and telling someone else, and through that process you begin to sort of understand the details of everything that you witnessed and everything that you saw and everything that you did, and that can help, I guess, consolidate that in your mind for the years to come. And I do fully understand that memories can be fleeting, and they're heavily influenced by the emotions that you were feeling in that moment, and you won't remember everything as you grow older. So it's nice to be able to look back on these like pictures and all these images and video clips, and seeing your friends, seeing your family, seeing yourself in some of them, in some cases, doing these things. But I think it's kind of a strange phenomenon, because I see myself as a third person in these activities. When I'm looking back, I don't see myself directly doing these things. I see a version of myself that's sort of trying to tell me a story, and me failing to acknowledge that that was actually me doing it. I don't know if I got that message across as clearly as I wanted to there. But the point still stands. The point stands that it feels like a different version of me when I have to watch myself back, or I have to watch the pictures, or whatever it may be. But all in all, I think capturing moments is a worthwhile experience. Like, there is no way you're going to remember everything that ever happened to you ever. Anyway, it's just not. We only have a finite amount of things we can store in our brain. I like to think. I could be completely wrong. But just through the acknowledgement that perhaps we don't need the camera, and if there was a moment that we truly wanted to remember, to just completely engage our senses in terms of what we're seeing, who we're with, what we're hearing, what we're feeling, what we can smell, that sort of stuff. Just engaging your senses with the surroundings and being able to sort of fully lose yourself in that moment. Even if that it only is for like a few seconds or a couple of minutes, at least that way you've sort of consolidated the imprint of the ongoings around you in your mind to some extent. And then to perhaps articulate that at some point in time and space after this adventure has finalized, you want to sort of share that with anyone else, then you should, because through that activity you can then consolidate it for yourself going forward. And I think it's a nice thing to do. I think it's a nice thing to sort of being able to share these moments on a first-hand experience, rather than substituting it with a picture or a video, which is what I have tended to do over the last few years. And I think it's helped. I think it's definitely helped to explain the things I've seen and the things I've done. But I don't think it's implored anyone to do the same. Like, I couldn't match the energy of actually being there. And I think the most comprehensive way to do that is by telling a story. And I often forget that the videos and images that I've taken are there to supplement the story. They're not there to tell the full story. And just going forward, I think I'm going to be a bit more mindful about if I do share these videos or images going forward is just to be able to sort of explain and articulate what I was feeling in those moments. And even when I'm capturing them, to fully engross myself with all the senses, to be able to remember it going forward as well. But the important thing is that you're developing memories that you can hopefully look back on very fondly. And yeah, just enjoy being present is, I guess, the overall message. Enjoy being present and try to create memories, both for yourself and through media, that will help you look back and, I guess, enjoy the things that you've done. Yep. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.